Oh, welcome back to the Friendship University podcast. The podcast where we explore the intricacies of building and nurturing and sustaining meaningful connections and relationships. And we do that in the vein of being a little less trash every day in hopes that it will cause you to want to be a little less trash every single day. So I am Kristen and I am joined by the handsome chocolate velvet Miki on the other end. How you doing?
I'm motherfucking tired.
What's new?
That's
What is
really not an
actually
update.
new?
It's actually hilarious because my coworker said the exact same thing to me today. I was just like, "Oh, they're like, how are you?" I was like, "I'm tired." They're like, "You're always tired." I was just like, "Yeah, it's kind of what it's like being a human these days. We're all tired all the time, forever." But outside of being utterly exhausted, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, I'm doing pretty well. Um,
Mhm.
the sun is finally back on where actually a few good things. We'll
Yes.
start on a high
Yeah.
and we'll
Let's.
end on a
I.
low.
No,
So we're going to start on a
we're a roller
high.
coaster.
So we're starting on a high and going to a low. So high notes. Chipotle got their act together and brought back the Al Pastor chicken because I don't know
Oh,
why
I
the
didn't.
fuck she thought it was a good idea to remove it.
Cause
Like
they
that's
have
just
like
wasted money.
17 chicken flavors. They
That's just
got
waste.
jelly
Mm-mm,
lime,
mm-mm.
adobo, chipotle,
No, here's the
and
thing.
now Al Pastor.
Restaurants, all restaurants, and not you Wendy's because we're not going to you anymore, but every other
Oh yeah.
restaurant, unless the ingredient you need to make one of your seasonal items literally only grows during one part of the year, I don't want to hear any excuses of like, oh, this is a limited time item. I don't want to hear it. If there's no reason to be
It's
limited, make it a permanent item. And like I said, unless there is an ingredient that you need that can only be grown from like October to December or whatever the fuck the case may be, I don't want to hear it. I don't
It
want to
be
hear,
like
oh, it's
that
seasonal. Oh, I
sometimes.
don't want to
As
hear it's
somebody who
no.
used to work in the restaurant industry, predominantly actually managing restaurants, so I did order in. I can attest that there are specific reasons why things don't get ordered. But
Like I said, I
hey,
get it
maybe
sometimes.
they didn't know that people was really rocking with the pasta chicken.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you, I follow Chipotle on Instagram. There's only two restaurants I follow on Instagram. That's Chipotle and Chick-fil-A.
I
So
was
I
about to say
follow
Chick-fil-A.
Chipotle. And let me tell you, under every single post, people were talking about, sounds good, where's the Al Pastor? They'd be like, oh,
Mhm.
launching so-and-so, sounds cool, where's the Al Pastor?
Well, kind of
Two
sound
for
like
one
with that.
BOGOs, great. I want two for one Al Pastor. And here it is. And now everyone's like, thank you for coming to your fucking senses. So
Better hope
um,
it stay on that menu.
it did better because let me tell you, the day Al Pastor went away, up until today, I have not had Chipotle. I was
Wow, you were
there
on
every
strike.
day
You were
basically.
eating. It was Chipotle and Chick-fil-A. It was an
It was
intertwined.
it. It
Hmm.
literally, I can went audit on my
And a little bit of
Chipotle buying
Chinese
last year,
food.
and a little Chinese twinkled in there. But let me tell you, baby, Chipotle was off that list. I didn't eat Chipotle not
Dang, just
once
because the
between
pasta
now.
chicken was
The
gone?
pasta chicken was gone. I was trying to go to church. And let me tell you, that shit blessed me this afternoon. I ate every single bit. In fact, I'm getting more after this. So the quicker this podcast goes by, the quicker I get some more Al Pastor. Um, so still at a high. We're still at a high.
Okay.
Second high of the week or whatever you want to say. I just totally drew a blank about what that second high even was.
You
Something else
thinking about
happened.
that chicken.
I
That's
am thinking about the chicken.
we will
You
never the blacks will never beat the chicken allegations. We'll
You'll
never beat them.
notice how I
We'll
started to
never beat
fill
them.
my sentences with more words because I was trying to pull it back. But that chicken is
We'll
locked
never
in.
beat it.
So we're going to go to a low now because I forgot what the second high was. Oh, I remember what the second high was. I had a housewarming party, which was so much fun.
Yes, you did. I bet
Um,
it was.
it was such a good
Mm-hmm.
time. It was nice to have my friends over as well as my partner's friends over.
Some of your
Some of my friends
friends.
over. Some of my friends didn't decide to leave, so they got invited. Um,
I'm gonna be punished for the rest of my life for trying to be better and trying to
yes,
make a way for
because
myself.
even if you're not here, that registry was online. So anyway, back to what I
Man,
was
the
saying.
black woman just can't catch a break.
Can't
She
catch a break.
never can
The
catch a
heel
break.
firmly pressed on the back of your vertebrae. So had a great housewarming party. It was a really good time.
I saw
I've
you
never really
DJing.
thrown a party by myself. I did DJ a little bit, which was stressful in and of itself, but um, I've never really thrown a party before. Like I've had kickbacks before, where like maybe like four people were over, five people max, including myself. So I've never had a full blown like party before. Not of my own. Like I've thrown parties at other people's houses, and I must say
Mm-hmm.
I put on a good party. Like I know I do. The ambiance be set, the lights be going. I'd be having curated experiences. Like I know how to throw a party. I think it's because I'm also a DJ. Maybe it's part of my blood. But it's the first time I threw a party at my own house. And it was
Mm-hmm.
stressful in a sense of, I had to be a good host. I had to make sure I was having a good time, but also make sure people aren't breaking my shit or no one's throwing up on my couch or whatever the case may be. The way I looked at my couch over and over again, because I was like, if you throw up on it, you will be recomping me before you exit, or you'll be washing dishes
Oh,
here until you die because you owe me a new couch. Like,
wow.
don't know. I was stressing. Okay, I was stressing. I was like, no, don't put that down. Don't do. See, like it was fun, but I feel like me throwing a party moving forward, it's gonna be like a once a year, like Malik's Bash or whatever. Like, people know I throw a good party. There'll be like that once a year event where people come to my party, and that's it. Because I don't want to clean up anymore. Like in the middle of the night, it's like as people were actively drinking and having fun, I was cleaning. I was cleaning up empty cups. I was like, "This yours? You done? Bloop. Trash. You done with this piece? You done with this plate? Bloop. Done." So I like a cleanly place. Thankfully, my partner is also very cleanly, so we were both doing the exact same thing. But yeah, no, good party. We had me DJing. My partner was out here being a massage therapist. Like there was a whole bunch of shit going on. And then so now to the lows. Finally,
Oh,
I
God.
know. I know we've all been waiting for this one. Low number one. I'm still not a millionaire. I still have to work for a living, which is
Yeah.
ghetto. Do not
Mm,
like that.
mm,
That's
mm,
abuse.
mm,
If we're
mm,
not going to get reparations, at least give black people no taxes. Like, make me not have to pay taxes.
mm.
Because the way I'd be looking at Uncle Sam snatch my coin away from me, I'd be disgusted
Every day.
every
Every
day,
day, all day.
all fucking day. But the other low is I have not been sleeping well for a long time. So here's the thing: I come from a family that has sleep apnea, and sleep apnea is a biological thing. Like that's not biological specifically, but you can get it. Like you can inherit it from your family.
Yes, I
Um,
didn't know that.
a few years ago, I mean, other things cause it, but you can still inherit it. So a few years ago, I got my tonsils taken out, which was an experience to kind of hopefully tackle that. And I had thought it worked, but I feel like maybe it was a placebo experience because I feel like I still have it. Like I can go to sleep very quickly and I can stay asleep, but my quality of sleep is awful. Cause like come
Mm-hmm.
the morning or even like a couple hours into the day, I'd be so exhausted. Like I have no energy to do anything. Like I don't have energy to like work out or DJ or do a whole bunch of other stuff. Like it takes
Mm.
so much for me to do those things. And like for the longest time I thought I was like, am I just being lazy? Or is it just because I'm stressed out or like depressed or whatever the case may be. But like, I went to the doctor, I got blood work done, all my vitamins and nutrition is looking good. Like, I'm not deficient in anything like that. Outside of me eating Chick-fil-A or whatever, I eat relatively well. I sleep normally. Like, I'm not up all hours of the night. I go to sleep at like 11 o'clock every night, wake up around 7 every day. Like, I'm very on schedule. There's nothing that would indicate that there was something wrong with me. But my partner, who I lay next to almost every night, was like, "Oh, yeah, you snore really loudly." I don't stop breathing, so I may not be sleep apnea, but I don't think my quality of sleep is very good right now. So I think I've just been like utterly exhausted for these past like year and a half, 2 years, and I was blaming it on other things like my mental health, but I think it's something more than that. So I have a sleep study on the 21st, which I'm pretty excited for because I've
Hmm.
never really had a sleep study done before. Very excited for that. But yeah, I'm just always tired. So if you look at me in this face right now, I probably look exhausted.
You look fine, Buttercup.
Mm,
I mean,
no.
we both are exhausted. The bags under my eyes are may as well be singing Erica Badu,
Which song?
Bag Lady.
Come on, bag lady.
I'm tired, boss. I can't wait to hear how that goes. It's the 21st of this month.
Yes, 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 yes. So, really, now the downside to that is if they give me a CPAP machine, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. Because who wants to lay next to somebody with a mask on their face, looking like Bane?
You know what? I
My
know
man's
I
never gonna
know
love
a
me ever
few
again.
people. I'm not gonna say a lot because what's a lot, but I do know quite a few people who do have a CPAP machine, and they are either in long sustaining relationships or married.
Mm.
So
I guess
it's
because
not
I mean
impossible.
I just have to stick with the one I have because I can never date again because they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is on your face?" At least the one I have now, like he's used to me now. So if it's between
That's
getting a good night's rest versus not, I feel like he probably be like, "Yeah, good night's rest is better," because I do be waking him up with my snoring and he do be moving to the couch, and I be feeling really
that's fair.
guilty.
There there is a comedian who has a joke about the CPAP. He has a CPAP, and he said some who was it? I think it was Tahir Moore who said it, and he said something along the lines of his wife kind of wanted to do role playing one night, and so she was like, "Nah, keep that on," and he was like, "Bane," so he was like doing the Bane voice with it. It was cute.
That's a real one. Okay, shout out to her. That's a real bitch right there.
Yeah, it was cute. So here's hoping that, for your comfort, you don't have to do that, but we'll see. You're going to get that sleep. I thought I had sleep apnea at one point because I would wake myself. I was like, I go through these phases of snoring. I do know when I'm exhausted, I snore. I know that for
Mhm.
sure. Um, like if I have like a few glasses of wine or something before bed, I will snore as well.
Mhm.
But I went through these periods in like college where like roommates or stuff would say like some nights you snore, some nights you don't. So I was like, and then there was like a period of time where I was snoring and I was waking myself up, but that doesn't really happen anymore. So I'm not really sure. I never really checked it out, but you kind of go to WebMD and it tells you you're dying. So I thought I had sleep apnea and that I was gonna suffocate in my sleep and never wake up. It's just all kind of stuff.
Which
So,
isn't
but I'm glad that
the health thing about it is what kind of
that's
like,
more of
and
a
that's the
high.
main reason that drove. What'd you say?
I was gonna say that's more of a high that you are on the cusp of figuring out the solution.
Yeah, but it's also a low because all these years of me being utterly exhausted, I just assumed it was something else, and I was like, I probably should have done this a lot sooner. So, shout out to my man for letting me know that I'm like dying in my sleep. Shout out to my body for not giving out on itself despite me being
Shout out to
utterly
both of
exhausted.
y'all. Shout out to him for being a real one because I do know several married couples who either they're like, I gotta go to sleep before my spouse, or they will sleep in separate rooms.
I
It'll
offered
be like
separate
that
rooms. He was like,
sometimes.
"We're not doing that," and I was just like, "Okay, so I guess it's Bane mask it is." Um,
I'm
Still can't remember that other high, honestly, but it's fine. But how are you, my love, my darling?
okay. I'll tell you what I didn't do. Go to a housewarming party this past
Mm.
weekend, but
And
that's
whose fault is
okay.
that?
I'm glad that you had a good time. And I still had fun. I've been doing a lot of like walking around, kind of just getting acclimated to my neighborhood, my city. I really can't wait to get another bike. I got rid of my old bike, I gave it away before I moved. So I'm going to get a new one. There are a couple of bike trails around here that I'm excited to hit. And yeah, I'm okay. I am out here. I'm out here and I'm going to declare that I'm flourishing and that everything is okay. Everything that I need, I have, and everything that I desire is coming towards me.
Right
So,
your way, girl. Amen. Okay.
because life has been life in this past week. I will not hold you. A lot has been going on work wise. Technology has been defaming me.
Mm.
I have had several people out of my past pop up out of nowhere.
Come on, spinning the
And
block.
please keep going. This is a cul-de-sac. Just right on around, right on out. Don't stop, please. Do not stop at go. Do not collect $200. Yeah, I don't know if it's that season. The time changed. Um, I am happy. The sun is staying out rather long, and it's really making
Mhm.
me feel like I'm getting a little pep in my step. I'm not really someone who has temperamental changes during the seasons. Like, I wouldn't say I'm more productive one way or the other, but I do enjoy the sun being out and I do enjoy natural light. So where I live, I've got pretty large windows, so it's really nice to have that light coming in now because when I moved here it was winter, it was snowing, just a little bit more on the still Christmas Eve side.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to see that sun staying out. And outside of that, I'm getting acclimated to having neighbors again. I'll say that. I have lived in like homes, standalone homes for several
Mhm.
years now. So I don't have any annoying neighbors. I will say it's just getting used to things like hearing doors open.
Oof.
There is a dog that it's actually currently barking, and I don't know. I guess the owner leaves it all day where they work, and it barks and it cries and it goes from barking to crying. You kind of feel bad, but then you're like, please be quiet, and it's nonstop for like 8 hours.
Yeah,
And
that's definitely ghetto. I think I think I'm cursed with having heavy-footed neighbors for the rest of my life.
oh yeah, you be having people who be shot putting.
I don't get it. Like, what are you doing up there? Like, there's no way you're this heavy-footed. I be thinking they be putting on clogs in the morning, kind of like that Airbnb we went to in Colorado, where
Oh
old girl was doing clog
yes,
lessons
at
at
six
six
o'clock in
o'clock in the
the
morning.
morning.
We
I
were like,
was
"What
like,
the
what
fuck is
is
that noise?"
happening? And it was like all through the house.
And
I'm
she
like,
specifically
how is
woke
she
up
everywhere?
and picked up her clogs, put them bitches on, and ran across the hardwood floors.
She was auditioning for the live action version of Matilda. She was playing the teacher and she was gonna shop that. I am almost for sure that's what she was training for because it ain't no reason that you should be walking. I will say I don't hear anybody below me or above me. I'm like right in the middle of my building, so I don't really have any complaints on that end, and I don't think I'm heavy foot. I've never like gotten the
You
complaint,
are.
so
You are. I'm letting you know. I'm
well.
letting you know that right here, right now. You are.
Well, I've never gotten a complaint, nor have I ever hurt myself walking. So
I have. It's
I
okay though.
mean,
It's okay. It's
being
not a
in the
bad thing.
home with someone and hearing them walk and hearing them below you are two different things.
Listen, y'all. Let me tell you, Kristen
So
be on her two good feet. Get up on your good foot, okay?
when
That's
I
what she
be
be.
walking, when I be running, yes. So I will say that, well, I
No
have never
bullet
had any
fragment foot bitch
complaints.
here. No bullet
No,
fragment foot
both of my
bitch.
feet are very well and alive. I'm on
Good
both good
feet.
feet.
Two good
Yes, I
feet,
am.
okay?
Two good feet,
I can't
no
believe we're
left
gonna see
feet.
that tour next week. It's I almost did. I mean, honestly, we
Ooh.
almost didn't make it there, but you know, happy
Yeah,
we're there. High heels on her
she.
tippies and all.
Yep. I'm excited. I'm
Oh
excited
wait, that
to
means I
see
get
my
to see you
girl.
next week.
Yes, you do get to see me the one week you couldn't wait for. I
I
will
don't like the
never
way
let
you
you
just
live it
said that.
down.
And I'll never let you live down the fact that you abandoned us.
Abandonment implies that you never see or hear from me again. We are currently talking to one another.
It's a business relationship. You don't even call me.
Wow, you don't call me.
You
You're
don't
the
call
one
me.
who be
You're
out
the one who
here.
left.
You're the one who booed up. I'm sorry, I'm hanging with my boo. I'm sorry, me and my man got plans. I'm sorry, I can't do nothing because I'm snuggled up with my man. I'm sorry, why would I be on my phone because I got a man?
So now you're quoting stuff I said in this exact episode. That's crazy. Anyway, let's get into the whatever we're gonna call this segment. One day we'll come up with a name.
Maybe let's try the friendship tribune. It'll be the newspaper.
Oh, that's cute.
We'll,
Friendship
we'll we'll
Tribune.
stick with that for now. We'll see how that rolls over the next couple of weeks. Like I said before in an episode that you all may or may not see because technical difficulties, we trying stuff out. So if the name changes, mind your business. We just trying what we can out to see what we like and see what works. So we have a lot of things to celebrate on the black tip from the Oscars. I don't know if you got a chance to see the news. I didn't watch the entire thing, but I did catch glimpses and recaps. And so We have American Fiction, which won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay. Super excited for them. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see that film?
No, I did not. Honestly, I did not go to the movies a lot last year. But I'm looking it up right now. Um,
Very good. I would say it's worth going to see for sure. It was adapted by a screenplay. The screenplay I believe was Erasure. I've never read the book itself, but apparently it is pretty close in proximity to the synopsis of what the book entailed. So, really great film, a lot of satire, it's a lot of
really,
satirical humor. I
really good
will
cast
say
too.
that there is a bit of like surrealism that starts to happen towards the end,
Hmm.
but totally worth seeing. I enjoyed it. Had our girl Erica Alexander from Living Single
Period.
in it.
Okay, come on now.
So, gotta celebrate her. And then we had someone who I am quickly becoming a just enthusiast of, Divine Joy Randolph, who I first saw in a show called Only Murders in the Building. She had a very small supporting role, but she stole the camera every time she was on it. And then I went back and I started to see her in all these things. She won the Oscar for the best supporting actress in a film called The Holdovers, which I actually watched this past weekend. While I was at home not partying,
Mm.
and
Well, see, it wasn't a
it
fully
actually
wasted
was a
weekend.
no, it wasn't. It was actually a pretty good film. It's on Showtime, I think. It was either Showtime or Stars that it was on. So, and
I see.
yeah, so I watched it this weekend. It was pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah, and last year was just not a good movie year for me. I think actually the only movie I saw last year was Godzilla. Which, speaking of, Godzilla also won awards for Best VFX, which is well earned. I just want to take a moment to really address a few industries real quick. Maybe movies, video games, whatever medium you want. These
Hmm.
small indie companies or whatever the case may be with these tiny budgets are showing these triple A creators or whatever the case may be, like how the fuck it's done. Okay. Like
Okay.
there's no reason for your next Marvel movie to cost damn near the same amount as Elon Musk's net worth. So y'all like seriously, I think Godzilla had a $200 million budget, which is yes, a lot for a movie, but like compared to some of these other budgets, I think like Endgame had a budget of like I don't know, like almost
It was like
it was a
close to a
lot. It
billion.
was close to $1 billion, which I mean, a lot of that probably was Robert Downey Jr.'s check. I'm sure
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of that was mainly Robert Downey Jr.'s check.
absolutely.
Um, even in video games, I'm playing this game called Helldivers right now, which was made by a smaller company, and it is sweeping the floor with every other game out right now. And they had a very small budget, very small team, but they made such a good quality game. So really, I just want to say, like a lot of these bigger industries, I really need y'all to get it together because these smaller companies are about to eat y'all alive. I'm not gonna hold you. Like
It
Spider-Man
proves
2
when
just
you
got an
want to do it,
update.
you can.
Right. Spider-Man 2 just got an update, and that update is mid at best. It added some features that should have been there on day one. Meanwhile, Helldivers just came out, and I'm like, I'm not about to play Spider-Man. I'm about to play fucking Helldivers for the remainder of my
Dang.
day. So, like I said, these bigger industries, WB, Marvel,
Yeah.
Insomniac Games, whatever the case may be, y'all need to go ahead and pull it together. So that's what
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna say on that.
I think Godzilla was up against Guardians of the Galaxy. Who else were they up against?
I will say I'm so happy I put people on a Godzilla -1 because I went and then I just told a bunch of people to go. I was like, just go watch the movie. It's a really fucking good movie. I think you guys went, not because of me, but I did. I had told you guys after I had saw it, I was like, yo, you need to go see it. It's a good ass movie. So really happy to see that it's getting its tens. It very much deserves it. It was a really, really good movie. Again, probably one of the only movies I watched last year, just because I haven't really been interested in a whole bunch of stuff coming out. That being said, a lot of stuff hasn't really been coming out because of the whole writer's strike. So I feel like that's starting to pick up traction now,
Yeah,
thankfully. Just hasn't been a whole bunch of new stuff to watch. And not a lot of it's been great, honestly.
that's fair. I did enjoy Godzilla -1. I went with our mutual friend who is a big Godzilla fan. I have seen maybe two. Well, up until that point, I had seen the original Godzilla from like the 50s or whatever. And then I think I had seen one in like the early 2000s. So I have since recently gone back and watched quite a few of them. Godzilla Minus One was really good. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. Loved the score. Loved the reinterpretation of it. Taking it back. What the hell is wrong with Godzilla though? Why do he gotta be so I don't know, because some people like Godzilla's a girl, but then I found out Godzilla actually fought a girl, and then there's this multiverse that's happening. Like God, people be leaving Godzilla alone, but Godzilla be like, nah, B. Like Godzilla ran up on their camp. And so now you mad because we want to retaliate. We actually didn't retaliate. We built a whole nother city hundreds of miles away. We left you be. And then you still stomped your Bigfoot, Goodfoot,
Both of
Nicki
them.
Minaj behind on over to our town. And then you gonna get mad at us because we gotta protect ourselves. I don't understand. It's just
Well, mutual
but
friend
I do
slash
appreciate it.
producer, insert the Simpsons nerd thing. The reason being why Godzilla fucks with everybody is because he's an allegory for nuclear war, what America did to Japan back in World War II. So
I
it was
see
basically like
that,
one of
but
those
it's
like,
like,
hey, we fucked with you. We woke this beast and it fucked us over, and we probably shouldn't do that anymore. So I mean, it's changed over the
but they
years. Like he's become.
stopped. I was about to say they stopped.
I
And
know,
he
but who
still just
doesn't
be
like a
like,
laser breathing lizard? Like that's
well,
marketable,
some of
okay?
them movies would not have won best FX because
That's
they were
true.
trash.
That's listen, like they had an idea and they rolled with it. And they kept going. They were like Mecha Godzilla. That's the next one. So okay, I'm not gonna. The original concept, that's what it was based on. Nowadays, more so just about a giant lizard, and apparently
I
now
get
he's
it.
friends with a giant monkey, and that's another movie coming out soon. So
That's
that'll
I don't know if
also
they're
be
about to
seeing.
take over. I will
I
be going to see that
I
as
love a
well.
good kaiju movie. Like it's like superheroes, horror, and kaiju movies. Love those things. If I see a giant gorilla and a giant lizard fighting another giant gorilla or orangutan in a situation, I'm there. I'm locked in. Best movie of the
That's
year.
fair. That's fair.
Just
I'm
here's the
gonna go see
thing.
it
I'm
as
gonna say
well.
this. I'm gonna say this before we move on to the next thing. May it be kaiju's, transformers, whatever the
Hmm.
case may be. I don't need aliens, not aliens, I'm sorry. I don't need humans in my Godzilla story. Like, yes, they're great and all, but sometimes I just want to see a
Like,
lizard
what
fight
you
a gorilla.
mean?
I don't need to see the human plots. I don't care.
Oh,
Just
like you don't
like
want the death
Transformers, I
girl
don't need.
coming to save it.
No offense to you. Transformers, Shia LaBeouf, we loved you, but I'm here to see Optimus Prime rip some heads off. I don't need to see humans. That's just my own
He
take.
kind of made it though. He kind of made the film just a little bit. Just a
Like I
little
said, the
bit.
humans are cool, but like I don't need his. No, I'm good. It's fine. But
You just like destruction. You just want to see them going back to back. You don't want no dialogue,
no
no
dialogue.
backstory.
You better
Don't
cut
even
that
give me a
dialogue.
score. Just complete, complete utter silence. Let them battle it out.
We don't even need you talking really. Just good score and fighting. That's what I need.
Fair. We'll see what Godzilla and the orangutan or ape or whatever they
Can't
are
wait.
have to offer. Cannot wait.
Speaking of
Um,
fighting,
s-
Speaking of fighting, we're about to be witness to the sporting event of the month in a few months. I would say the century or the decade, but
we
we'll
can't
forget
even
about
say that.
this just like we forgot about the fight between
Floyd
Logan.
Mayweather
Was it
and
Floyd and Logan Paul?
yes,
So yes,
Jake.
Jake
Yes, Logan Paul,
Paul, Logan's mini me. It will be fighting Mike the Killer
Mike Tyson.
Tyson
Hmm.
on a Netflix special this summer. How do you feel, friend?
First of all, Netflix. This is why you raising my prices? Because you want me to see Mike bite his ear off Tyson
Mm.
and Jake Big Back Paul come in and fight. Did nobody ask for this? First of all, I appreciate you, Mike Tyson, and I even grew a more fond respect for him after I watched the Hulu. Kind of like it wasn't a docu series. It was like a reinterpretation show about him on Hulu, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cute. I like this, whatever. Learned a little bit more about him, but I'm just not interested in seeing another. I will say, from what I've seen, as far as like recent video and footage of your boy, Jake has gotten a little buff. His back looking just a little bit bigger than it was. So I think he's taking it a little bit more serious than before. But I don't want to get in the ring with anyone who would willfully take a piece of a body part from a respected fighter
Just ripped it off.
in the industry. Because he not only bit one ear, he bit both. See, a lot of people don't know the whole story. He bit one ear, that didn't slow him down. So then he decided to take a chunk out of the second ear. So I'm not interested. But
Yeah,
do you, boo?
I don't know how this came to be. It's just something that like popped on my Instagram one day, and I scrolled past it because I really didn't care. But
That's fair.
hindsight, looking at it, I will be tuned in. I'm not paying for it. Like I don't pay for Netflix. I actually
Oh
cut a
yeah,
lot of my streaming services because I just don't watch them. Like I think I
that's
opened
fair.
up Hulu like. Especially because everything wasn't coming out, I was like, I'm paying for nothing at this point, so I just stopped paying for all of them, which has been really nice, focusing on other things. But back to my point, I will be tuned in how I was tuned in for Logan Paul because something about seeing a privileged white man get beat up just sounds exciting to me. No offense. I love white people, as I mentioned.
You
Just,
want it to be like that, but then I think back on the Floyd
yeah,
Mayweather
no.
and Jake or whoever, I get them confused. And it wasn't that. And I mean, a lot of boxing is more technical than anything. So I don't, unless I'm going to see a knockout, I'm going to watch because
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
too
watch.
have Netflix. So why not? Is there. If I'm free at that time on that day, I will
Right.
be
If
watching
not,
it.
I'll catch it later. My other thought about it is like, leave this 57-year-old man alone. Like, I
Leave this
mean,
man
mind you, he
alone.
agreed to it, but I'm sure
He
he agreed
did.
to it after Netflix was like, listen, we're going to pay you a lot of
And he
money.
got
And
the
he was just
bag.
like,
Yeah.
I can do with a lot of money. Who doesn't like a lot of money? If to just punch
Hmm.
someone in the face. But like, that man is 57. Jake Paul is 27. So leave.
Wow, he's
Why are
not
we
even
fighting
30. That's
now? Why
crazy.
are we fighting people who are 30 years older than us? Like, I want to know how it came to be. Like, I need to do some research. Like, did Jake ask to fight him? Was Netflix just like, okay, let's pick one of the best fighters we know and pick someone that a lot of the internet just genuinely doesn't like and pin them together in the ring? Which I mean, if that was what happened in the board meeting, smart idea because I guarantee you they're going to get some subs for this.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're in a time now where it's pretty like it's kind of what you said. Like people are saying, I want to fight such and such, and then people are just making it happen. Because I have seen rappers who have now become boxers and fighting people and they're taking it seriously. And then you've got Jake and Logan Paul who have been out here. So
Hell, I saw Logan
I,
Paul on WWE the other day. I didn't know
apparently
he did
he's taking it
wrestling
yeah,
very
apparently he's been
seriously.
taking everything serious and he's really been getting his game up and he's really been out here. So
Shout out to him. Better than
yeah,
going
shout
around,
out.
forests in Japan and making fun of dead
Oh
people. So,
gosh. We'll
um,
never forget.
we'll never forget. But yeah, and then speaking of mess, because I have a lot of segues today.
I see.
I wanted to talk about this once in a lifetime. And by once in a lifetime, I literally mean knowing how this is probably going to go, literally once in a lifetime experience called
Mm-hmm.
the HBCU Cruise. So the Horace Historical Black College University.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what HBCU stands for, right?
Historical black
Historically,
college and use yes.
okay, perfect. I just want to make sure. The HBCU Cruise hosted by. Actually, let's make a game show out of it. Kristen, can you take a guess of what cruise liner is hosting the HBCU cruise, the first ever HBCU cruise?
Let's see. For cruise line, so I will
I'll
admit I
give you
don't
some
know a lot about
options. I'll
cruise
give you some
line. There's
options.
Carnival, there's Norwegian,
Royal.
there's Royal.
There's MSA. There's a lot of different ones. So just name which one do you
I'm
think's
gonna
the one
think
hosting?
I'm gonna say Carnival.
You guessed absolutely fucking right. Yes. The Walmart of cruise liners is hosting the
Now
HBCU
that is
cruise. Listen,
Carnival, if you would like a retraction, please sponsor us, and we'd be happy to tell the people what we really think about you.
I've seen your boat. I pulled up in my nice Royal Caribbean and I looked out to the right and I said, "Ooh, girl, we need to find you a home." That shit was rusting. That thing looked like it was about to fall into the ocean, girl. Sorry,
No, it was the
Carnival, you won't be
Titanic.
getting me. Listen, okay, no disrespect to any brands. Every time I talk shit on this podcast, it's literally just my opinion. It's not reflective of
I mean,
Kristen at all.
hey, we
Most
both
times.
have had
Um,
our
free speech, all that stuff, whatever. I don't fucking care. Carnival, you don't go to Carnival for luxury. You don't go to Carnival because you want to have a luxury experience and really enjoy the ocean and be a sea bearing bitch or whatever. No, you go on Carnival to get weed on the boat, be a hot girl, and
Wow.
do and twerk to Sexy Red on the way out to port. Okay, I'm
Was
sorry.
Carnival the one that had Bob from accounting pop locking and dropping it in the
Gotta be,
middle of the
couldn't be Royal
pool?
Caribbean. You want to know what happened? Let me tell you. Me and our mutual friend slash producer slash manager slash the person who literally holds this podcast together. Um,
By a thread
we
every
went
week.
on a cruise to Royal Caribbean, and like it was. I think we left on a Monday. I think a lot of cruises leave on Mondays or Sundays. So everyone was boarding their boats. We were one of the last boats to leave. So every boat's passing us. You see Royal Caribbean playing like the electric slide, go past, whatever. Here comes motherfucking Carnival blasting. I don't know if it was Drake. I don't remember if it was like Nicki. It was someone, but let's, for intensive purposes, say it was Rich Baby Daddy. All you see is this boat drive by. Bend that ass over. Let that coochie
Oh
breathe.
my
And
God. Was it like that thing that used to be on Instagram? How do we
yes, they were getting it. And here comes our boat playing the fucking, I don't know, Sweet Home Alabama. So I'm like, it's very on
Oh.
brand that Carnival would be the one hosting the HBCU cruise. So anyway, yes, they're hosting the HBCU cruise this year. It's the first time ever happening. It is an ultimate destination for alumni, students, and friends who would get to
Okay.
experience the luxurious ship. Again, been on a carnival, seen a carnival. Luxurious is a stretch. For 4 days and 3 nights. So I'm gonna go over the cruise itinerary first, just to let people know
Okay.
what to expect for this cruise. So the itinerary is the HBCU just you, the letter U, WIT, WIT, rep your school
Who you with?
party. Who you
Yep,
with?
that's the who you with.
Then we got the HBCU day party, the HBCU comedy jam. Then we have the HBCU, ready for it? Freaknik on Nassau Beach.
Oh. Oh, now
Yes.
Nassau didn't ask for that.
We decided, Atlanta won't have Freaknik. Freaknik on water.
See, this is why Miami
Miami,
locking y'all niggas out
exactly.
now.
Exactly.
This is why
Miami said
South
no, so they
Beach.
said, oh, it's fine on the
This why
boat.
South Beach said spring break. We're taking a break indefinitely. We no longer want to be in
Okay.
a relationship
We're breaking up.
because what do you mean, freak neek Nassau Beach? I'm gonna tell you
Freaknik.
right now.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna get freaked. Every single person on that beach that's thinking they're gonna be buying weed or drinks. So I'm telling you, the locals are about to have a blast. Go ahead, bring as much money as you can into my country.
They're going to
I love
scalp.
it. Go ahead,
Scalp.
scalping. They gonna be scalping all y'all college students. So go ahead, bring the money into Nassau.
I'm
Come on.
excited. But Rihanna girl, lock your front door because they're coming, baby. They're on their fucking way. So, moving on, they also have the sneaker ball, R&B
Okay.
bingo, which I was excited for. R&B bingo sounds nice.
Okay.
Another party called the Luau at Princess K's Island Party. So yeah, that's gonna be the itinerary. A
Is
few
it
fun
this
events to
year?
look forward to. Yes, it is this year. Actually, it already happened apparently.
How sway?
January 11th through January 15th, 2024. Interesting. When did this happen? How come I wasn't
Maybe
aware of
that was
this?
the sign up. Maybe that was the sign up cutoff.
No, that
Because
literally
I don't
says
remember hearing
Carnival
anything
Freedom
about.
Cruise itinerary. Let me see here. Give me just a moment. Let me just look. Mind you, so let me actually give you the experience of this website. It's giving Fire Island. When I typed in the website, the first thing that my
Oh.
computer told me was, "Are you
Oh.
sure? Are you sure you want to go to this website?" It looks a little sketchy. Are you sure? Like, I'm
Oh,
letting you
Ja
know. We don't have to go.
Rule.
We don't have to go. But if you
Oh,
want to,
come
hit this button.
on.
So the very first thing that happened
No.
is yes, it tried to scam me. Just to give you an idea of the prices, you can get an interior cabin room for $728, or an ocean view for $743. So for an additional 20-ish dollars, why would you go interior where you can get ocean view?
You don't get
And
ocean view.
then balcony is $863. So
$100 more
not super
expensive.
expensive, you know. All prices include unlimited food and gratuity for taxes and services. So when is this fucking cruise? Is a really good
It
question.
cannot have happened because if that's the case, oh my goodness, y'all be
Did they not make it
saving.
back alive?
Had to. There's no way. Well, you know what? A whole bunch of black students going missing. That could have evaded news.
Wait, is this? Let's see here.
Cause ain't no way. It's no. I didn't hear anything about this. I didn't hear anything about them doing it.
To be fair, I didn't look at the dates when you had like when I started looking at it. So when is?
Please don't sneak hookah on the boat, y'all.
Let's see here. Let's go to Instagram.
That's all I really ask. Just please don't
I just want to know
try to sneak hookah
who
onto the
was
boat.
it. Carnival's idea to get a bunch of niggas on a boat.
I'm gonna tell you something. I looked up HBCU cruise 4-day Bahamas Carnival, and it took me to Eventbrite. So
So what I'm hearing is this is not a real event. Listen, if y'all
I'm
put
on
a
event.
deposit down, tag the
I'm
Friendship
on
University
Eventbrite.
podcast if you bought a ticket, because we're tuned in. Because I want to know, like, did it already happen? Because some of these dates seem like they're in the future. Some of them seem like okay, it's on Eventbrite, girl. It literally is on Eventbrite. Like,
I
what
see it
is
right here on
what is
Eventbrite.
happening?
5 days ago on
Oh, wait.
HBCUBuzz.com.
This one says
It's
week one is March 4th through March 8th, so maybe it's a reoccurring thing.
Oh, that could be true. I see March 4th. I also see one from March 11th through the 15th. That's yesterday through this week.
We'll give you updates on the next episode of the Friendship University
We will
podcast.
be looking. I will be looking out for this because you know what?
What if they're just supporting people? What
But
if they're
where would
just
they be
collecting us and
deporting them
sending us
to?
back to Africa? What if this is an elaborate ruse? They're like,
Bye.
get them on a boat. Get them-
What is it? Ma. No pause. Cause I'm
Okay.
out.
Okay.
You ain't got to stop me.
Maybe
I'll go
it's.
right on back.
Oh, hold on. I'm looking at a video of this girl on Instagram of the HBCU cruise. The
She
second,
went on it.
it looks like it. Okay, book
Okay.
the HBCU girl. It literally says I bought an HBCU cruise ticket through Eventbrite.
I told you I saw it on Eventbrite. I saw it.
Let me
The
get our
first thing that
tickets.
came up.
Let me get our
Put us on the
tickets
waiting list on Eventbrite. It'll email us when the tickets open up.
because we'll be there. Ooh wee.
I will be in attendance. I did not go to a HBCU. It was something that I grappled with because I did want to go to HBCU. I actually did want to go to Howard at one point. Family, friends having gone there, so I was very familiar with it. But you know, I'm not gonna say this isn't true for all universities. I'm gonna say that the experience that I had trying to get funding from the HBCUs was treacherous. I went on a tour to Spelman and I was like, you want me to pay $1,500 a semester to stick my hand out and touch a crackhead on my dorm?
That's what they want.
This is what you want from me? You want $2,500 for this? Mm-mm. No, no disrespect, cause love you, but I was like, I gotta go where the money reside. Where the money reside. When I got that full scholarship, it was peace in the Middle East. I'm out. But they do have great homecomings and great culture, and I know quite a few people who've gone to HBCUs and have thoroughly enjoyed them and loved them. So a cruise, I'm sure, is a very good time. However, auntie will not be getting on a boat with 2019 to 22-year-olds.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't even take cruises that allow kids. I do adults only.
Take it a step further. She
So
doesn't even take cruises.
Not really my thing, but when I do, adults only is what I'm looking at. So,
I already told you I went on my first well, not adult cruise, but I went on a cruise as an adult for the first time a few years ago with our mutual friend. The next one will be kidless.
yes,
Kidless.
it's going to be kid free. I'm at we there are some trips that I'm looking at right now where I'm looking at kid free resorts.
Got to, because what?
Ain't
Leave your
trying
kids at the
no,
house.
it's not for me when I'm trying to do what I'm trying. There are certain instances where I don't mind. I've been on several trips where children are a part of the atmosphere, but there are certain moments where I don't want to deal with it. And I would imagine being on a boat that has, I mean, boats are huge, so I can't really say limited access, but it's limited to the sea. You can't just leave the boat unless you're docked. I would rather it be just adults.
I'm
No.
sure the HBCU one will be adults. Well, at least
It'll
legally
be
speaking, adults.
adults. Yeah.
And the government
I
size
can
adults.
yeah, they're considered adults in the government size and they're paying their taxes,
Are they?
but
Are they all
they
paying their
paying them one way or
taxes?
another. They
Mm,
paying it one way or another. If they working, they giving the government something. They either giving them taxes or giving them loan money, or
mm.
will be, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I just don't have any interest in. I'm at the age now where I can rightfully and thankfully admit, because I appreciate getting older because everyone does not get that opportunity. But there are things happening. I saw a acronym the other day in a text message from
Mm.
my niece, and
Mm.
I was like, "Uh, Grandma don't know what
Who?
that mean, baby. I don't know what that mean. You have to you can't say that to me. So
Spell it. Okay, spell it out for me, please.
spell that out because I don't know what that means. So I got pictures of my nieces and nephews on my refrigerator. I don't have time to be partying. I can't keep up, and I don't desire to either. I'm quite comfortable getting on my adults only cruise, sipping my mai tai by the pool, and looking at a movie. I'm good.
Calling it a day.
So
Yeah.
I calling it a day. But yes, y'all have fun. Put our names on the wait list for Eventbrite. Maybe I'll see if my nephew want to go. He's looking at colleges. We're gonna be doing some college tours
Mm.
this year because he will be graduating next year. Oh my
And
god,
the
I don't know what
HBCU
it is.
cruise is where you want to take him.
Yeah, sounds like a good
Sh-
time for him. Sounds
Shout out
like
to
a good
Auntie.
sounds like a good time for him. Speaking of adults who don't know how to leave children alone, I know you do not know who this young lady is, Drea. She is a reality TV star. She has dated several athletes, a lot of basketball people. She is currently in a relationship with a NBA player by the name of Jalen Green, and they are expecting their first child. Lovely, right? The discourse is Drea is 39 years old and Jalen Green is newly 22 as of this year. So there was some conversation around that dichotomy of, you know, we kind of give the guys a little pushback when they date the younger women sometimes, especially when they go off and start families. They're in their 40s and their, counterparts are in their 20s. But this is the reverse. So I just thought I would ask what your thoughts on that kind of like age gap of what is that, almost 20 years?
So it's kind of like multi things here. So at the core, I am in the camp of you're both adults. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do as long as it's consensual. Of course, my mind does have to go back and think like, okay, how long has this been going on, and why a 22-year-old? Because let me tell you, I myself, I find anyone below the age of my current age, so even a day younger than me, absolutely repulsive, repugnant,
Wow, not
disgusting,
a day.
gross. I don't like people younger than me. It's weird. They're annoying. I don't like it. You could tell me, oh, I was born a month later than you. One, ill, you're a Gemini. Two, you're younger than me. So two reasons I'm not going to talk to you.
Wow.
I have friends that are younger than me, but from a sexual standpoint, younger than me just doesn't. doesn't do it for me, personally speaking. I just can't. Like, I think about how much I've changed over the years, especially from the ages of 20 to 25, and now from 25 entering into my near 30s now. I've changed so much between those points in time where I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to someone younger than me because you don't even know who the fuck you are. I barely know who I am, so I know you don't know
Yeah.
who you are. So that's one thing. The
He
other
old
side,
enough for the HBCU cruise.
he's old enough for the HBCU cruise, which is again age. But anyway, moving on. I guess the other part of it is just like I don't know if they're like from the older person's perspective, looking to someone younger, even if they are of legal age. Like, why would you want to be with someone young like that, where they don't really know who they are, they don't know what they want? Like at any point, any given point in time, they could be like, I don't really know, I don't want to be with you because I didn't really know what I wanted in the first place. Which I know even people in their 50s can say the exact same thing. It's not an age specific thing, but especially younger people, they change so frequently. We're like,
Yeah.
how much of their personality are you influencing because you're an authority figure or whatever the case may be. So I don't really know what's going through her mind as far as the longevity of this relationship, as far as like, oh, I want to start a family with you or get married or whatever the case may be. That person's 22, girl. They don't even know what they want for breakfast. Just throwing that out there. More than likely, they don't even know what they want, what color socks to put on this morning. So, what do they know about
Which
starting a
Cuban
family?
link?
Which Cuban link's going to look best with my J's today? That's the only thing they probably know the answer to. And on the flip side of being with someone older, as someone who has dated people older than me, who's slept with people who are older than me, and not by a small margin. Like, I mean, being transparent, I've been out on dates with people who are like 20 years older than me, or slept with people who are like 20, 30 years older than me, mind you. Not necessarily the best idea. Hindsight 2020, I'm not proud of that. I'm just saying like it's happened.
Hmm.
I can also see like how it's weird for me trying to be with someone older because like I don't have a tremendous amount in common with that person. Like they have references that I don't get, or I have references they don't get, or their interests are so vastly different than mine. Like I'm trying to go listen to Amelie Lenz until 5 o'clock in the morning. They're trying to,
They're
get
getting
some
up at five
sleep.
o'clock in the morning.
Right, they're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do yard work and do their budget for the week, whatever the case may be. So
Hmm.
from a sexual standpoint, is it a little weird? Sure. Again, I'm in the camp of if you're both consenting adults, there wasn't any pre-made like grooming and stuff like that going on. You're both safe and happy. Knock yourself out. If you want to blow grandma's back out and you just got off the HBCU cruise, knock yourself out. I'm not going to sit here and judge you or stop you for that. Do I think it's a great idea? No. And the same thing on the other side, like yeah, old boy literally just got off the flight from the HBCU cruise. Yes, he has a paper due on Friday, and his 21st birthday is on the Friday after that, so he's probably not going to do the
Hmm.
paper. But if you
Hmm.
really want to give him that 3,000, as long as it's consensual, knock yourself out.
Hey man, that's how she ended up here. I will say I know Drea from way back because I do partakes into what they call the trash TV every now and then, especially back in the day. Not so much today
Mhm.
because it ain't as trashy as it normally was. I now watch the Love Is Blinds and all of those. But back in the day when Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives was on, and I remember her from that in the early 2000s. She was known as the original trap 'em baby mama. I'm gonna say
Mm.
that. She was
Oh,
this is
try to
her
lock him
second
down.
child. This is her second child. Her first child is I think 20 or somewhere close to the age of Jalen. So do what you do, girl. That's all I'm gonna say. Get whatever it is that you're looking for. Maybe you just wanted to have another baby. Maybe y'all really do love each other. I think when you're looking at age, I'm not going to say that it can't work. I agree with you totally that there's just a lot of disparities that happen as far as like commonalities and where you are in life. I think when you're so young, at that like pre 25 or closer to 30 age, the things that keep a lot of people together as they get older is the growing. So when I look at a 39-year-old and a 22-year-old, it's like there isn't a lot of like growing up you're going to do together. It's just going to be
Mhm.
one person. And yes, at 30, you're still 39, you're still growing, you're still changing, you're still evolving. You may not be the same person at 45 or 50. You're supposed to shed layers and become better as time goes on. But at 22, you're growing up. And
Right.
especially you're talking about someone who is kind of in the limelight. They're somewhat of a celebrity. Their tax bracket, their status is a little different, so their obligations are different. Their scenes are different. Their exposure to things are a little bit different than the everyday average person. So good
Now,
luck.
that being said, if you just want some young tail and you're a sugar parent, I'm open to that. Get your bills paid. And if you want to pay my bills, knock yourself out.
Well, in this case, it would probably be the other way around. I'm almost for sure
I'm
he's
not
worth more
sugar.
than she is. I'm almost for sure he's worth more than she is.
Fair. Well, if you
She
want
has her own money,
a
don't get me
sugar
wrong, but
parent, I
yeah.
guess. But I mean, like I said, just I'm not judging. I don't personally care. Knock yourself out again, as long as it was consensual and there was no prerequisite grooming going on. Like you've been poaching this man since he was getting off the school bus. Then knock yourself out. I don't care.
Apparently, he was of age, so you cannot tell two consenting adults what to do. Like I said before, you niggas don't want me to get in office because it's gonna be some changes to you gonna be paying for sex, and it ain't gonna be
Hmm.
the way that it was before. So, vote for me, 2044. The last thing on the list, you probably know them just in passing, the Royals. Where is Kate Miscavige? I mean Middleton.
I hate you.
Because girl, we want to know. Blink twice if you need some help. Because
That girl
baby,
is
the
gone.
a the mother gate photo, the AI. I'm almost. I have a, what do they call that? Mandela effect happening, because I'm almost for sure the first initial photo I saw did not have all of those intricacies that the whatever they're saying is now AI photo.
Mhm.
It's a mess. I don't know if you saw the photo, but hands are crooked.
I've been
Hands ain't
keeping
lining up.
loose track of this story because
Hair's not lining up. They saying my girl. It got to a point on social media where everybody's like, "Oh, this ain't funny no more." We've been joking about her leaving to get a BBL, and now we really actually don't know what she is.
gone. What is she? Is she like a princess or something?
Yes, yes. So, well, Duchess and Duke,
Come on,
right?
duchesses.
Is that so? Well, no, she would be a. I guess she would be the princess because he's the prince. He's
I've
next
never
in
been one of those
line.
people who really like cared about the royal family. I went to school with this girl, and she was like absolutely obsessed with them. She was like, "Well, the queen and the blah blah blah." I'm like, "Girl, fuck that raggedy dusty bitch and her family. I don't give a fuck." So I mean, I don't really know much about this lady. I have been keeping like loose track of it just because it keeps like being talked about, but
Yeah,
I hope she's okay. You know, those BBLs really will be out here killing y'all. So if you were out here getting a BBL, girl, like that song was
we
telling y'all, it may have tried to kill you.
his
So
BB.
I
She
hope
was
you're
a.
okay.
We hope you're okay. The question still remains is, where is Shelly Miscavige as well? We are still looking for you, girl. You're not going to be off the radar. Um, I only know about the royal family because, being from the Caribbean, we were actually under the guise of the Queen of England. We actually just got dispatched from that like in 2012 maybe, or 13, somewhere around there, maybe 2014. So, if you were going anywhere in like the 90s or the 2000s in Nassau and the Bahamas, or like around the Caribbean, if you went to governmental agencies or you went to you would see pictures of the queen. You would see, because that was our queen, for lack of better terms. Um, I'm hoping that she's okay. It could mean a divorce. It could mean that,
Not a divorce.
yeah, there's just been so much drama. The pictures of him and a so-called mistress, and then them saying that he's the one who actually is the one who put out that Mother's Day photo, because Mother's Day was in the whole thing was UK's Mother's Day was a couple of days ago. I think it was like
Mhm.
Sunday or something. And so he put out this photo, and then they were like, "This photo's AI. Where is Kate?" And then there was like, "You got a mistress," and we know the story of Princess Diana, who was his mother, and everything that happened with that. And there was drama around. They were just trying to get rid of her because old buddy wanted to be with his mistress, who he ended up marrying. And then so, uh,
Yeah,
Whatever's done in the dark is gonna come to the light. So y'all be easy over there across the pond.
yeah. Well, like I said, hopefully she's okay. I'll continue to passively take interest in the story, even though again I don't care about I don't even care about I don't even care about our own government. Why do I care about somebody else's government? So, um,
We will have that discussion because we on election year.
okay, I care about our government not fucking us over, but I don't care about the people in our government. I just care about them doing their jobs correctly
Oh, absolutely.
and well
Well,
and with dignity and stuff like that. Side note:
and
this
not
you might see this Friendship University podcast take place in Canada, depending on how this election goes. But honestly, either way it goes, we're going to Canada. So
they gotta let us in as citizens.
we'll figure it out.
Gotta get visas and stuff across the pond. Canada's expensive.
You
Oh
can't put
my
a price
god,
on
my
my life.
computer's on 1%. I'm so
Mm.
sorry, y'all.
Holding
Let
on
me
by the skin of your skinny skin.
we back. My technology, like I said, has been trying to make a fool out of me these last couple of days, but I will persevere. Yes, so we're about to get into the discussion of today. Oh, actually, there was one question that I wanted to ask you
Hmm.
about. I don't know if you saw it, but I saw a funny prompt that asked about if you saw your therapist getting jumped in the street, would you jump in and help them?
I'd probably jump in the same way I would jump in for like any random person, in a sense of I would call the cops or like flag someone down and jump in for me because, and this is word for word what my therapist said: we are not friends. We will never be friends. If I see you out in the public, we don't know each other. And I was like, okay, so I'm gonna treat my therapist like I treat someone I don't know, and I would just call the cops.
That's what they if they said we're not friends and treat me like you don't know me. If you don't want me, then don't
If
talk
you
to
don't
me.
want me, then don't talk to
I
me.
talk to I would it honestly depends. I haven't had a therapist in a long time. So basing it off the therapists that I've had in the past, there's one that I may help. Just one. And she was rather cool. And not because we were friends, but because I know that I feel like she can fight. And so I feel like it wouldn't be a lost cause to jump in and help her.
Mm. I don't think my therapist can fight, but like I said, wouldn't matter because I'm not jumping in.
I mean, and it also depends on how many people, right? If it's 7 people, what am I gonna
Right,
do?
you'll be fine. You'll be all right.
Let me call the
Right, let me call the
cops.
cops.
Uh, so today I thought we could talk about um the shift that's happening with the work. And we've got a lot of remote work happening. A lot of companies are bringing AI on, so that's even less staff. So I thought we could talk about the future of work and what that could mean for human interaction because you and I met as colleagues and became friends. I have other individuals that I met working together and I've become really close friends with them. So I thought it would be interesting to see, what your thoughts were on over the next few years where the realm of work relationships and in office and remote working. Are you building connections with your coworkers? Have you made any friends with coworkers since you started working remotely? Stuff like that. So
Yeah, so it's actually a really interesting conversation because I feel like it is kind of like there's multiple facets to it. I'll just speak from my own
mhm.
experience. I feel like that's always kind of like the best way to explain it. So I just got off the heels of having a very, very tight knit, close relationship with a team of mine that I work with. And it was a remote first team. Like we only saw each other like once, maybe a year or whatever, when we had like company on sites or whatever. Never again. I'll never do it again. And it's nothing against those individuals. It's nothing against those people. I loved our connection. It was very fun to have someone to talk to, especially like working from home. At the time, I lived by myself, so having someone I could just like call up on the phone or like just shoot the shit with on Slack, whatever the case would be. Like it is nice, but it did come with its fair share of issues. And I'm not saying having friends at work is a bad idea. I'm going to say that this applies to working remotely. This applies to working in person. you need to be very careful who you're opening up to. You need to be careful who you're expressing certain things to, especially in a work experience. Like, you have to understand that this person is closely related to your money and you don't want to fuck around with your money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you have to trust them. I'm not saying don't hang out with them. I'm not saying don't talk to them about certain stuff. And I'm saying just be careful with who you open up to and making sure that that is a safe person to open up to. But I'm not going to go into that. So I think it depends on the company you're joining, and I think it depends on how you're entering that environment. Like, are you entering this environment in a sense of this is just a paycheck? I'm going in to do my job and sign off, or are you going into with a more open mind about like, okay, if there are networking opportunities like random coffee chats that you might be signed up for, or ERG, some employee resource group events going on. Like, are you going to like participate? Or are you just not going to show up for those things? So I think it really depends on like what you put into it. But I'm not going to say it's fully on you to build those relationships. It is also up to the company you're joining to facilitate those kind of interactions. I mean, of course, you can also facilitate it yourself, but that's not on you to make those like, okay, I'm going to have all the gays join this meeting. Let's just all go ahead and join. Like, that's not really on you to go ahead and build. That's something your company should be building for you.
Right.
I will say that in I see this becoming more of a trend now, especially with the whole quiet quitting or the work life balance. My job is not myself. I'm not my job. My job is just the way I pay my bills thing, which I'm on that bandwagon myself. I'm on the camp of work is just the moneymaker. It's not who I am. It does not reflect me as a person, whatever the case may be. I think as we see more of that becoming commonplace, as a lot of these older people start to retire or hopefully retire, a lot of the new generation starts coming up, the generation that does care about, hey, I want to spend time with people I actually fucking care about. I'm just here for my paycheck. I could see working relationships becoming less commonplace. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen ever again, but for example, myself, I'm clocking in, I'm doing my work. I'll see you on the meeting. 5 o'clock hits, boop, computer's closed. Let me tell you, okay? Like I'm not shooting shit with you on Slack. We're not kiki and cackling because anytime I'm kiki and cackling with you, that's less time for me to do my work and the more time away from the things I care about, like my hobbies or my loved ones or my family, for example, whatever the case may be. So I know a lot of people are hopping on that bandwagon too of this is just the moneymaker. I'm going to make it through my
Mm-hmm.
day. And then every other time outside of this 9 to 5, 10 to 6, whatever the case may be, Monday through Friday is my time. I definitely could see the work bestie relationship slowly dwindling, at least how I forecast it kind of going. Um, and it's
Mm-hmm.
actually something I want to bring up real quick because you mentioned how a lot of companies are bringing in AI. And I think it actually is a really interesting conversation about like how is AI going to play into relationships in the future. Like speaking super honestly, like dead ass, and I'm not shit for this. I've replied to a friend's text message using AI before because I just did not know what to say to this person. I was at a loss for words, and I was like, "Chat GPT, my friend sent me this. How should I reply, or what should I say? What is a good way to convey how I'm feeling, or whatever?" So I am very curious.
That's not the first time I've heard that. So
They did a South Park episode about it when I think it was I don't know all their names. I think it was Cartman, maybe. I don't remember, but I guess he had a girlfriend, and opposed to replying to her genuinely about how he felt,
oh, I
he would
remember
just go on
that.
Chat GPT and be
On the
like,
text
write a heartfelt
and she was
message
like,
to
"You're
why
so
you're so
kind."
kind, you're so thoughtful. Meanwhile, he was copying and pasting from Chat GPT. So I think it is a very
Mm-hmm.
interesting, and it's going to be a very interesting thing to watch because, like, very rarely have we been able to see infant technology grow. Like, I think the last time I've seen a technology go from like concept to full blown rollout to something big was probably like smartphones, for example. The
Yeah.
smartphone wasn't really a thing 20 years ago, really. Like we had PDAs or
No, it
things like
wasn't.
that, but like from iPhone to you have a computer in your hand at all times and do all these crazy things, like that was like 20 less than 20 years in the making. So I am
We had Kelly Rowland
right.
texting
And
from
from Excel,
Excel.
okay, we had Kelly Texan from Excel. So I am very curious, and I feel like it'll be a really interesting conversation for us to have later down the line after a lot of this stuff has been built out. Because like I wonder how many wedding vows are going to be written from ChatGPT. I'm curious. Like, I want to see the
Have
trend. I
already
want to see, like,
probably.
if at some point someone can pick out, be like, hold on a second. That's the exact same thing I said to my spouse, like, 5 years ago. Like, that's the exact same speech I wrote. Like, I'm very curious how that's going to develop over the years.
That's crazy. It's gonna shift from let me see your text message thread to let me
Let
see
me
your
see your
chat
chat GPT.
GPT
Let me see what kind of
history.
sweet messages you're texting someone or drafting. So, my overall just consensus on it is like, I think I think people are going to have to start finding different ways to find friends. And again, I'm not saying the work friend is going to disappear because I think there's always going to be in person jobs. I think there's always going to be those subset of people who are
Yeah, for
very
sure.
social and do use work as a way to build those relationships. But I do think it's going to become more important, especially now that people are working remotely. A lot of people are having that work life balance. They're not really in work to make friends per se. They're in work again just to pay their bills. I think it's going to become really important for our communities as a whole, both in America or even outside of America, but especially in America, because we desperately lack places like this, which is called like the third space kind of thing, where it's like you have your home, you have your work, or in this case, that might be the exact same place, but where are you going to go to socialize? Where are you going to go to have that human interaction,
Mm.
to meet new people, to build those friendships, to get out of the house, whatever the case may be? Like I said, I think it's this whole concept called the third space because you have your home, you have your work, and then you have that other space, a coffee shop, a restaurant, this club you go to, the park, whatever the case may be, just a place for community to like go meet new people, build that camaraderie and whatnot. So I think as we're moving to this more remote first environment, having those kind of community spaces is going to become more important than ever.
For sure. I completely agree with that. I think I'll say having worked remote for the last 5 or so years, it's been an interesting concept for me because I do kind of usually build camaraderie with my coworkers. I'm not gonna necessarily like say I take friends from every single job that I go to
Mhm.
because that's not necessarily true. Like when I think about maybe we were cool and we had a relationship while I was there, and then maybe if we see each other on social media, we'll reach out, but there's not really like a sustainable relationship where I'm confiding in you or we're continuing to grow together or anything like that. But I can think back on quite a few instances where some of my who I would consider lifelong friends or long-term friends have come for the situation of being able to go into an office and have that common space where we met and talked and grew that relationship. um I think it's interesting because with remote work, there is more of the heads down, get my work done, going about my business type of situation, which oddly enough goes against all of the statistics where people want you to come back into the office because they feel like you're more productive, right? There are several studies that say that people who do remote work are actually way more productive than people who are in the office. So, and it is because you're maybe not conversing and having those
Mhm.
conversations on the sidebar instead of getting work done. I know that there were a lot of people who I know personally who came together just off the basis of needing a support system at that
Right.
job. Maybe the job was tough. Maybe the
Mm.
boss was an airhead. Maybe there were just these
The
things.
safest
And so
zone,
now
some
that
might say, right?
communication's,
Like a safe
yeah,
zone.
and
Hmm.
like a safe zone,
Hmm.
some may say. So, a little thread to have those conversations. And I don't think that that's happening a lot anymore. I mean, probably because it was safe to talk in person. It was safe, but now do you really want to have those conversations on Zoom?
Okay.
I mean, I know people are
Zooms are
having
being
them,
watched. You got
but
computers that are tracking your keystrokes. They know exactly what you
you're
type. You got an
ooh, you
infiltrator in the
slide,
safe zone, so you got to make a safest zone, and then the safest zone gets
and then you gotta
compromised, and now
make
you got to make the safest possible zone.
say first,
It's just you got to.
okay.
It's just a lot. So there is.
You gotta make these impenetrable
Right.
barriers.
And it's like looking back about my previous, like I said, my previous job, I was very close to my coworkers. But again, I met them in person frequently. I traveled with a lot of them. And the
Hmm.
ones that I was the closest with were the ones that were based around where I was because I would see them in person. And I'm by no means am I saying you cannot build a very strong long lasting relationship with someone over the internet. I'm sure it's possible. I know it's possible. 90 Day Fiance shows you that. Never mind. 90 Day Fiance doesn't show you it's successful, but 90 Day Fiance does show you that you can at least find someone on the internet and make a relationship with them. Not the healthiest one, but you can make one.
And get into the
And
country.
right, and get into the country. So it's possible, but with it being work, there is that level of you have to be careful what you say because not everyone's your friend. I'm gonna make this super transparent. I'm the idiot who used to think everyone was my friend. Like, oh, no one's out to hurt me. No one's gonna fuck me over or share this confidential message that I sent them about our boss or do A, B, C, and D. No, and it's not even like necessarily that they're being malicious about it. Some people have big fucking mouths. Some people cannot keep a secret. Some people
Man.
are literally out to get you because they're
Man.
like, oh, Becky's going for the
Yeah.
promotion. I'm also going for that promotion. I'm going to show the boss this message
Mhm.
she sent me about how they ain't shit. So I'm just going to let you know that right now. Not everyone's your friend. And that goes triple for the workplace. At the end of the day, while yes, they're your
Man.
coworkers, if they're on your team, they're also your competition. You're competing for the next promotion. You're competing for that recognition, those
Raises.
raises. You're competing to
Yeah.
keep your job sometimes. You don't even know it. Like, just I'm just saying, like I said, you can be friends with your coworkers. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not even saying it's unhealthy. I'm just saying that at any time, maybe remote or not, you just need to be careful of who you're talking to and how you're talking to them. Preferably talk to them on your personal phones outside of work, where they can't screenshot what you're saying. But also keep in mind that they could be recording what you're saying. So again, keep that air of skepticism until you have like actual proof to go off of. Like, okay, I can trust this person. Like, if you talk shit about the boss one time, I'll give him a little sprinkle, give him a little zest, a little sprinkling of
Just a
like what you
little.
think. See if it ever comes back to you. Like, wait numerous months and see if anyone ever mentions it again, even in passing. If it seems pretty cool, okay, pull the envelope back a little bit more. Okay, talk about how the lace front of the boss wasn't really given. Her edges were not laid. If you don't hear that for a few
Okay.
months and you never hear it come up, okay, maybe now you can start talking about some spicy stuff about how Susan's fucking, Johnny in the fucking break room or whatever. Then you can really pull back the onion. So I would
Mhm.
say when it comes to work friends, start small. And this goes with all relationships, really. You should really be starting small and really building that trust like a snowball over time. Um, the whole, like I said, I do suspect that a lot of the whole work best friend thing or work bestie is not going to be what it used to be, where you literally had to see someone in person. And why I think those third spaces are going to be really, really important moving forward. I just kind of sucks that America is not really known for a lot of those third spaces. One, a lot of us are really sprawled out. Like urban sprawl is a really big thing in America. We don't have a lot of good public transit, so like a lot of people don't have access to like third spaces or these community
Mhm.
centers. Like, maybe you want to go to the actual, place where people hang out, but you don't have a bus to get there. You don't have the train to get there, or parking is a nightmare. So you just choose not to go, or whatever the case may be. So American infrastructure, I will admit, does not advocate or encourage those kind of environments. So I would say it's definitely not easy, especially here in America versus somewhere like Europe, where you have bullet trains that are taking you from France to Italy or whatever the case may be. Like, you have those
Yeah.
kind of connections where you can like really link up with people versus here in America. So um speaking transparently, I'm not friends with any of my coworkers, and I'm fine with that. But that's not, it is nothing against them. Like, they're cool people. It's just that I have other things I care about, like my actual friends and my partner and my family and my cat, where I'm like, okay, this is great, Michael. Loved our conversation. Love that we're having a chance to talk about this account. But as soon as we're done, I don't care about how your hydrangeas are doing. I don't care about how
Okay.
the kids are doing. I don't want to
Okay.
know that, oh, Johnny got chicken pox last week. I don't care. Oh, did you get the task done that we talked about? Great. See you on the next meeting.
Did you see
Boop.
my email? Were you able to follow up to
Great.
that?
And
Thank you
that's it.
so much for
And that's
that.
it.
I think yeah, and I'm not going to necessarily say it's a good or a bad thing. I think we do have to take the moments where we have human interaction and connection to build when we are looking for those kind of friendships or relationships, because we are a people who desire to have human connection, but you do have to be careful. And I think, like, what I do also feel like is what remote work is doing is forcing individuals to reevaluate the way that they connect with their
Mhm.
coworkers, because some people used to use that banter to get ahead or to have the opportunity to get dirt on someone or use this against, and now they don't you don't necessarily have that. And I'm not going to say like it's across 100% across the board, because you have chatty Susans in every company. Someone's always going to overshare on a Zoom or reach out in a Slack channel and share something that you never asked to see or
Right.
whatever. But I think I do like the concept of ERGs, I will say, which are employee resource groups, as you mentioned. I think if you are looking for a situation, especially in a remote atmosphere or hybrid, and you're looking to make connections and maybe you do want to build outside relationships, an ERG may be a place to start, just because you more than likely are going to come across and interact with individuals who have similar interests as you and or are in similar demographics as you. So a lot of the individuals in my current company that I have um, drawn a little bit more closely to, in the sense of we do talk outside of work. When I was living in Atlanta, we did go out outside of work. I met in my ERG, which was our Black resource group. So all of the Black employees were able to get together. And it's not just for those employees, but it is a safe space for those employees to be able to come together and do events and showcase, things of the culture and just different things like that. So an ERG, if your company does have it, would be a good place to start if you are seeking that kind of connection. Still just being mindful of an individual's intentions and just watching their actions. If you're talking to someone who is talking about somebody else, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna talk about you too.
Exactly.
So you just got to watch people's actions and go based off of what you trust. This is the first company that I've worked for where I will say it's not a lot of team building that happens,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. Like, I have worked for several companies where they encourage community, and they encourage that team building atmosphere, and they always want you to be in connection. And
Mhm.
but that's not happening. And this is a really big company, so I'm not going to say this is standard across the board, because it's a huge company. There are teams that do things way differently. But yeah, so it was very interesting coming in and like really coming in and like not having sidebar
Right.
conversation. Like, I'm here, I do my job. Like you say, I open my laptop, I
I
do
type on my
at
laptop and
5
then I
p.m.
close that
Boom.
laptop immediately.
And then I close that laptop and we're done. There's small talk about the weather or a pet or two here or there, or what you do over the weekend. But it ain't a lot of, girlfriend this, or,
Mhm.
woo, I got this going on that. And I'm not even going to say that I'm mad at that. I mean,
I love it. I'm the same
I
way.
can
My team,
see
my company also doesn't do that, and I'm like, yeah, bye, see you.
I'm pretty okay with that. I will say I'm lucky enough to have a core group of individuals where I don't feel like I have to have that when I go into work anyway. I will say I do miss the camaraderie I had at the job before this, just because the work that was being done as a collective felt like teamwork. And so we just had that conversational aspect where we could, have these sidebars or candid conversations with one another. I'm starting to really see the whole I gotta fill out my boss thing before I bring this to their attention, because it could be interpreted the wrong way kind of thing,
Mhm.
because I don't have that relationship with them anymore.
Mhm.
My old superior, we were close. Yes, we were friends, but they acted as a superior when we were in work setting.
Mhm.
But even still, because I had that trust for their opinion, I had to start building trust in them just as a leader,
Right.
which was interesting for me.
Yeah. No, they definitely.
And so It's a little bit different. I haven't had to do that in a very long time because, like I said, the last job, which I was at for several years, there was this basis of relationship. Now, it's not my first time having to do it because companies I worked at before that last
Mhm.
job, I had to do that. But being back in that space is pretty interesting. And you are right, people are scalping out here. There was the quiet quitting that happened and the great resignation, and I don't think people know that cause and effect exist. And so
Right.
everybody's like, I don't understand why I can't find a job. And there's so many people because thousands of people left their job 1, 2, 3 years ago with this mindset of, I don't know where the world's going to take me. I want to venture out. I want to do what I want to do. I want to take these chances, which, no shade, like, do it, live your life, you only get one. Go for what you feel like you were purposed to do. But a lot of people just set out mindlessly to do things, and they realize, oh, so you want the rent every month,
every
you
month? That's
want
is
my
that how that works?
you want my car note every month, you want you that's how that works. So I gotta put food on my table every week. Oh, my kids need sneakers every other month because they grow. Okay, I need to find a job. So cause and effect, people. Yeah, thousands of people leave their job, and now those same individuals, a lot of those same individuals are coming back and seeking work. So, um, but I would say, like, if you are in a remote setting and you are seeking to build more connection, just take the tips that we gave you as far as the ERGs, as far as flushing people out and talking to them and just giving them a little bit at a time to see how they take it. And if you find people that are in your city too, you could be fortunate enough. I know there are situations where people work remotely and they don't have anyone in their city, but if you do, reach out to someone to see if they would be open to grabbing some dinner after work or going to lunch together or something like that, getting a feel for the individual outside of the office or the work setting, and just kind of take it from there. I'm interested to have the conversation about AI for sure in the future because um, with the company I'm with, I just did a huge project with AI, so I got a chance to get my hands on some really extravagant tools. Like, people are paying
Mm.
hundreds of thousands of dollars for these kind of AI tools, and so I really got a chance to study, as someone who doesn't have an engineering background, the mechanics of AI, what it's capable of. And I mean, I'm obviously nowhere near the capability to the max, but even just seeing the small portion that I did, it's gonna be interesting what AI is gonna be able to do
Mhm.
in the very near future. We say the future and we're thinking decades, or we're thinking 5, 10 years. No, by the end of 2024, by the end of 2026, what AI is going to look like in the everyday life. I think we're going to have, you were talking about drafting up messages from AI. They're going to be people who talk to AI. They're going to be people making AI their
Oh,
friend.
there already
Like, they're going
is.
to be programs. Yeah, they're going to be programs who are going to be like, you need somebody to talk to. I mean, there already are for sure, but it's going to be a little bit more common space of, you need a friend, you need somebody to talk to. Okay, talk to this bot,
AI therapy. I'm sure it's
talk to
coming,
this,
right?
and they're going to talk back. And they talk back. I've seen it. I've seen the dialogue between an actual AI program talking back to an individual. And I mean, when I tell you, it seemed like you and I chatting right
Hmm.
now.
Shit.
it's
But maybe help for me to quit this
it's
podcast. Yeah, you might
it's
have a new co-host.
I don't want to talk to AI. I want my chocolate near and dear musketeer
Oh.
next to me virtually as we do this podcast. So, yeah, like, I think AI is also going to play a portion in the work connection realm as well, because what are bosses going to do that are going to start working with AI and not have like these huge teams of people? It's just a whole like diatribe that I could go into about that. But
Yeah, I like to think that
I
AI
definitely
was
think
gonna make everyone's lives easier and people not have to work as hard. No, AI is gonna make us all fucking homeless. That's what's gonna fucking
it's
happen.
it's definitely going to make some people's lives easier for sure. It's going to make a lot of millionaires and companies and all that.
If
I mean, there's still a level of human aspect that's going to have to happen in a lot of industries for sure,
Listen, I'm
at
not
least for
a
now.
I'm not a financial guru, nor am I a advisor. But if you're not looking into the AI thing and looking about how it might impact your life or how you can hop on the train, I would definitely say start doing some research. It's going to be a big thing. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, get in this now. It's going to be the big moneymaker in the future. I'm saying it as someone who keeps track of the news and watches trends. It's going to be a big thing. And I would say if you don't want to get left behind, especially as an entrepreneur, go ahead and start researching, seeing how that can work for you.
G- Go ahead and do it
Right? Don't
right
wait.
now. It's always better to
Don't
be,
wait.
yeah, it's always better to be above the curve than below it. So do not wait. Like I said, I got the opportunity to look at it. I still have access to some of those. I ain't telling them that I still have access to it. I'm gonna just keep on
Okay,
doing
hush,
it if they go
hush.
keep on paying for it. Keep on studying it. I even got into machine learning and AI because, as having a background also in learning and development, I'm starting to see where the course of school work and in-person classrooms and stuff are going. The shifts and trends, man, you're gonna be surprised what some of these industries look like in five years, even just 5 years. I won't even say 10, just five
Hmm.
years. So yeah, people, and also use AI if you don't know what to
Right.
say. It's a
If your
good
partner
tool.
cussing
I
you
use
out,
it in
saying you
work.
ain't shit, go ahead and use a Chat GPT.
Okay, go ahead, use that free chat GPT. She is good to me. I haven't had to use her, not I don't think personally yet, but I in the corporate world and in the work world, heck, in some other factors too. She has come quite in
Hmm.
handy. So my chat GPT is a lady. So if you can't tell, that's why I'm calling her she. Um, but yeah, people, I thought it would be interesting to discuss that because we both are in remote work, and I thought it was interesting because we both have made work friends. So I was just curious to
Hmm.
know, do you miss being in person and having that
Don't
connection
give a
with
fuck.
people? No.
Less of a fuck can be given.
This is older Mickey now talking. He about to be grumpy old man
Mm-mm.
Mickey in a couple of
I've
years.
working
Just him and
me
his
and my
cat.
cat. Well, because what else do I need? No, but I'm team work from home. I'm team leave me alone. I'm team just pay me and I'm gonna go home and that's it. Do you miss being in an
That's
office?
fair.
Mm.
Sometimes I work well in both. I do know that there are moments where I could probably, there are like some weeks where I'm like, man, if I go in the office, I know I'll be way more productive than I am
Hmm.
here. So I do often go to like coffee shops or just workspaces. I mean, we have an office here that I can work out of, thankfully, whenever I want to. So, but I enjoy working from home. I'll say this: the the glitter of it when I first
Hmm.
started has kind of started to dwindle, and it's become normal, right? So it's just like, oh, this is just what I do. I just get up, I go to my office, I do my work, I leave my office, and then I go on with my
That's
day.
fair. I can see what you mean.
There was like a glitz and glamour. Yeah, there was a glitz and glamour to it when you first started. Like, oh my God, I can make my lunch and I can do all these and I can multitask and all this and that. So now it's just kind of like, yeah, this is what I wouldn't mind going to. I will say that I'm thankful to not have to
Mm,
commute.
that's the big part, right? Paying for gas and commuting is yeah. No, I'm good on that.
Commuting is like, I wish that we could get more people working remotely because I can see how commuting could just really cause this kind of like not only angst in individuals' lives but really affect the quality of
Hmm.
life because it could take so much time. Like having been in Atlanta and where I've had commutes that took like an
Mm.
hour to an hour and a half to get
Ghetto
home,
is what it is.
it's like I think about that now, and I'm thinking about like me closing my laptop at
And that's
5:30
it.
and being like, man, all right, let me go make
Okay,
dinner
right.
or
Just
let
walk
me go
right
to the
over,
grocery
walk
store
right over to the kitchen, and it's over. So yeah.
versus getting in my car and having to sit in traffic, which is
Mm.
crazy. That's another story for another day. So I guess your final verdict on work
I'm
friends
not saying it's gonna go away or
and
it's impossible. It's just, you know, it's different now. It's not what it used to be. So you either got to put in the effort or look elsewhere, in my opinion. Which
you're gonna
still
have to
puts
try
effort.
harder. People, we're still gonna have to put effort. If you all have not seen the common theme when we talk about making friends and building connections, it takes two, baby. It
Takes
takes
two to
two.
tango.
You're gonna have to put in the effort as well. So we're gonna end with our quote of the day. I saw this and I thought it was pretty cute. Motivation comes from working on things we care about. It also comes from working with people we care about. That is from Cheryl
Come on,
Sandberg.
Cheryl.
Cheryl, we appreciate you. So that concludes another episode of the Friendship University podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. You know, you can anticipate episodes from us every Friday, Friendship Fridays.
Ew.
And uh, you all know where to find us, but if you don't, everything will be in the description box below. You can find us. We are at Funny Podcast on all platforms. That's FUNIPODCAST. We also just recently launched a YouTube. So if you are listening to this with the visuals, shoot us a shot on the, thumbs up. Leave us a comment on our channel, follow us, like,
Like, comment, and
subscribe,
subscribe.
all
Hit
that
that noti
jazz.
bell, okay?
Okay. Hit that noti bell. Okay. We're gonna what we are and then we have, our case, my YouTube
Okay.
hand.
We're gonna hit all the
Yes,
YouTube
hopefully you like that.
staples.
Look at this
Okay.
stitching. Yes, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Come on, the noti bell.